So you've just set foot in Bannerlord, but you're not exactly sure what you're supposed to be doing. Well, hopefully this brief guide can give you some direction so that you're not stumbling around confused getting captured by bandits. I know that's how I felt when I first played Mount & Blade Warband, so if you're new to the Mount & Blade series, hopefully this will sort you out. So once you've created your glorious character, you'll be thrust into a tutorial, which I would advise you do because it teaches you all of the basic stuff that you'll need to know. But once that tutorial is over, where the hell do you go and what are you supposed to be doing? Well, that's hopefully what I'm going to show you. So the first order of business when you are free to do as you please is to go to all the nearby small villages and recruit troops. Get yourself a merry band of around 10 to 15 good men as quick as you can, lest you get captured, beaten up and molested by bandits. You may also want to take the time to buy some food while you're there to feed your men. Perhaps all the butter, might I suggest. Okay, maybe not all the butter. You're going to end up with a group of fat guys and you're just not going to get anywhere. So less butter, maybe some nice grain to start with, maybe just a little bit of butter. So yes, travel to all the small villages and recruit troops until you've got that small party. You'll only be able to recruit a handful of troops until you get better relations with the person you're recruiting them from. And then once we've got our small party, it's hunting time, and we're looking for looters. These are the lowest of the low and the easiest of the easiest to beat the crap out of, which provides a whole host of benefits for you and your party. First of all, it's combat experience for yourself in real life, and then it's combat experience for your character that you're trying to improve, and it's combat experience for all of your good men, which means they'll improve and you'll be able to upgrade them. You'll also get loot at the end of the battle, which you can sell for money. Some of that loot will also be food, which is of course useful to you. And more importantly, you will get renown and morale, which are both very important. You may also capture some prisoners who you can sell or recruit into your army. So run around, hunt loads of looters, you'll get plenty of experience, lots of money from it, and it's a great way to start building up your party in numbers and strength. You can also try your luck with forest bandits and mountain bandits, although be aware they are a bit tougher. It's also important to note the party speed though. You can see these looters have 3.7 speed on the info panel. I have 3.8, so I will eventually be able to catch them. If you want more information on your speed so you know what's affecting it, you can click the arrow in the bottom right corner, which will tell you your party speed and everything that's affecting it. If you have cavalry in your inventory, you'll go faster. If you have a lot of prisoners, you'll go slower. So there's a bunch of things that affect it. Be aware of it, otherwise you may never be able to catch anyone. And that's why I suggested having a small party of 10 to 15 men to start with, so that your party's not too big and slow, and not every band of looters will run away from you. Some will actually come after you because they think they can take you on. Fools. And while you're running around hunting all these looters and bandits, you can check out all the different settlements along the way. You've got small villages, which offer food and troops, and potentially quests if you keep an eye out for that blue exclamation mark, which is another great way to get money and renown, so make sure you do some quests. And then you have small castles, which honestly there isn't usually a great deal to do at, unless the lord of the castle happens to be there, which usually, to be honest, they're not. They're out adventuring somewhere and you'll have to track them down. We'll get to that in a second though. And then you have large cities, which is where most of the action is going down. These are the ones you want to look out for. This is where you can get most of the things you'll ever want to do done. You can go into the city and take a walk around. You can join in tournaments at the arena if they're on. You can go to the tavern and find companions. You can recruit troops and do some smithing. And more importantly, you can trade, which is where you'll find most of the stuff you'll ever want. Although do be aware that prices do fluctuate in different areas, so try not to get yourself ripped off. You may also find some quests here and various other bits and bobs. And one last useful tip, if you press the N key, it'll bring up the Encyclopedia, which is incredibly useful when trying to find certain settlements or heroes if you're trying to track them down. You'll get a list of names of everyone out there, and you can simply choose who you want and try to find out more about them. So let's say we want to look for Bannerlord. This is the big man himself. We can see a bunch of information about him, but more importantly, we can see where he last was. Up in the top right corner here, last seen in Lavinia today. So then we can click on Lavinia, press track, and you can see it's come up over here on the right side of my screen, showing me roughly what direction it's in. So if I go and look at the map and zoom out, I will be able to find where Lavinia is, and then I can head there to find good old Bannerlord. He's not necessarily in Lavinia, he might just be running around with his army near there. The trouble is though, that is a fair old trek for me to get there, so by the time I do reach Slovenia, he might have moved on to somewhere else, so you might have to keep tracking them to find them, but yeah, that's a useful way to try and find lords and settlements that you might need to get to. So that should be most of the basics that you need to know to get started in Calradia. It's basically all about gathering renown and money. Those are probably the two biggest factors in making your armies bigger and stronger and yourself more powerful and more well known. It's all about making a name for yourself. You can do that as an upstanding, honourable man of the people, or as a dreaded tyrant whose name strikes fear in all of the lands. As you gather more renown and money, you'll see yourself and your army improve. You can see I've got a lot better armour than I did earlier, I've got better weapons, shields, bows, plenty of money, a much bigger party than I did earlier. I've got 32 men in my army now, and a lot of those have become better as well. They've been trained up into more effective soldiers, making you and your army far more formidable. And then it's really up to you what you do from there. You can go around as your own faction and maybe start your own faction and start taking over settlements. Or you can join any of the existing factions and try to help them with their cause. It's an entirely free world where everything is up to you. So start off by recruiting a merry band of men. Then run around hunting down bandits and looters. Take some quests along the way, gather up all the money and renown you can. You can use this money to buy new gear for yourself and for your troops, or to recruit companions, then simply snowball your forces until you get larger and larger and decide what you want to do with them. Side with an existing faction, or take the world for your own. So there you go, a brief guide for those of you who may feel lost in Bannerlord. If you're experienced in Mount & Blade, it'll all probably feel very familiar to you. I hope you've enjoyed this, thanks for watching, and do check out any of my other videos on Bannerlord. I will see you in the future.